everybody. So I am on the road again in the city of Houston, and I just wanted to drop this little knowledge real quick for those of you that are listening but not listening, right? Hearing us but not really hearing us, and doing but could possibly do more if you tailored your actions toward a certain thing. So let me break it down real quick. So the reality is, we're having this global moment, and there are so many people that are waking up to the movement, waking up to understanding that racism is not only real, that it is actively practiced, and that it's extremely dangerous. It's an amazing moment. It's an amazing global moment that we're having all over as a species, like as human beings in countries across the world. And there are still some countries that are eerily silent, that practice global racism and practice racism on a whole all day, every day. But later for them. We'll get to them in a minute. Right now, let's talk about what's happening in the United States of America. So clearly, there's a bunch of people, there's a bunch of allies that are deciding to pick up the mantle and fight the good fight. And it's amazing. I've said thank you. I mean thank you. I'm going to continue to say thank you, right? But so we have Congress in Kente Claus. We have, mayors in cities across the nation speaking out. We have companies, putting out statements of solidarity with the Black community and all this other kinds of stuff. And it's all great. It's all wonderful. We love the fact that there's so much vocal acknowledgement right now. And everything is wonderful. It's a grand moment. But it's not what we asked for. What we asked for is a seat at the table that's not a high chair. What we asked for is police reform, not defunding the police. While defunding the police doesn't mean actually taking funds away from the police and leaving the police starved for money to do what they do, it's not what we asked for. What we asked for is reform. What we asked for is convictions of all the people that have fired a gun, used excessive force or anything, that have killed people in the name of power. And you notice I didn't say Black people, I just said people. Because while Black people are disproportionately killed by the police, they're not the only ones killed by the police. And if you're upset about the fact that we're upset about the fact that police kill people, murder people, and your argument is, yeah, but white people get killed by police too, I don't understand how you're not standing right next to me and no justice, no peace. I don't understand how you're not in the struggle, because police should not kill anybody in the name of power. Police should be policing, not killing. Unless there is an actual, you get in a police car and you try to kill police with the car and they had to use excessive force to stop you, there's no reason for a police officer to shoot somebody in the back while they're running away. So defunding the police, even though I hate that word, I hate the word defund, but defunding the police is a reallocation of police funds to better serve the community. It's a reallocation of police funds to focus more resources on education, training, resources within the police department, like social workers and therapists, so that police officers don't have to do it all and be all to all people, to give them the training that they need so that they can do what they need to do. But you don't know what you don't know. You're not going to know that unless you ask those questions. You're not going to know what it is that we're trying to accomplish and do unless you ask those questions, unless you seek that knowledge. So how do you figure out what you don't know? You got to listen. So when we go out there and we're screaming at people that do not have this brown skin in these protests that are tagging up buildings, spray painting BLM, and then calling us ungrateful for not appreciating the fact that you're tagging up buildings, throwing rocks at windows, and doing all those things, you're not listening to what we're saying we need. You got to listen to what the message is. You got to listen to what it is that we're saying we need. And if you truly want to be an ally, then go ahead and give us that. Listen to us and see where we stand. Listen to what we're saying and then try to put your resources and your energies and your everything behind what we are trying to accomplish. To break down systematic racism, to break down institutional racism, we have to bring attention to the fact that there is systematic and institutional racism, right? So when we tell you, hey, this real estate agent is racist, don't come to that person's defense. You don't know what our experience is. Ask a question first before you go to defend anything. Listen. Your ears are your best tool for this fight at this stage. Right now, we need you all to be in the listening stage. We need you to hear what it is that we are trying to accomplish, what it is that we need, what it is that we need from you. Then, when you hear that thing, then you can align yourself up with what actually needs to happen so that from there, we can actually start to progress. But we need you to listen. And let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. It's uncomfortable to hear the stuff that we're saying because there's a lot of people that don't even want to hear what it is that we have to say. There are people that are like, nah, all lives matter. Nah, the police are not all bad. Nah, my cousin's a police officer and he don't do all that shit. So you can't sit here and tell me that it's a war on police. And they refuse to hear anything else. They refuse to hear anything else because it's uncomfortable for them to hear it. And not for nothing, some of you that I know, and there's a lot of allies that have decided to come out and fight this fight that are like enamored by how people just are willfully ignorant. They cannot hear you. The reason why they cannot hear you is because it's so uncomfortable for them to hear you. So I'm going to give you this little nugget to try and see if you can open up their ears, if that's what your goal is. Vaccinations, right? I know it's like it's a controversial topic or whatever the case may be, but vaccinations are usually delivered via a shot. It is a needle that goes into your skin, and then it is a substance that is pumped into your muscle that is then introduced into your system. When we give babies vaccinations, it seems cruel and barbaric. We're shooting our babies with metal needles and then introducing a substance that could possibly burn as it enters into their system to then make them sick so that their immune system can learn how to fight a disease. Uncomfortable, beneficial. Right? That's basically what it is, right? Uncomfortable, beneficial. That's what this conversation is. Uncomfortable, and then beneficial. So recognize you're going to be met with uncomfortable first. You're going to be met with defenses first. Uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. I don't like what you're saying to me, so I'm just going to go ahead and negate everything you have to say because no. Right? So defense first. Then argument. Argument is uncomfortable. I don't want to be confrontational, so I don't really want to talk about this. Now's not the time to talk about this. Now's not the subject for which we should introduce this. Now's not the flag has nothing to do with this. You shouldn't be protesting at work. Protest on your own time. Now's not the time. Now's not the place. You're supposed to be playing football right now. Now's not the time. Now's not the place. I want to talk to my manager at work because I feel like I'm being discriminated against in my office. During the company meeting is not the time to talk about it, Tamika. Now's not the time to talk about this. Now's not the time. Now's not the time. Uncomfortable. So uncomfortable defense, uncomfortable argument, right? The third uncomfortable is just shut down. No, this is not for me. I'm not going to do it. No. What you're saying, and then the third uncomfortable, the shutdown comes from the personal attack. Like, no, you're stupid, you're ignorant, you're lying to me, and this is not what we're going to do. Uncomfortable. I'm done. I'm washing my hands of this conversation, and I'm going to personally attack you so that you don't come back at me because I don't want to talk about this anymore. Uncomfortable uncomfortable. But guess what happens? Through all that uncomfortability, that person really starts to think about it. Especially if your arguments are sound. Especially if your arguments are fact-based. If your arguments are fact-based and sound, if they are provable, if they are researchable, that uncomfortability will not stand for much longer. So I have a friend named Nicole, right? And Nicole is dope. Like, she is one of the best people I know. Like, the best people I know, right? Nicole, for years, had this stance of, I know I'm not racist, but a lot of the stuff that you guys are saying makes me really uncomfortable. And so I really don't want to talk about it. So she took the stance of, it's not my place to talk about this, so I'm not going to engage in this conversation. And furthermore, I know I don't see race. I don't see color. I don't treat my people any differently depending upon what color their skin is. So I know that I'm golden. I don't have to talk about this because this is not my fight. That was Nicole's stance. And feel me when I tell you, Nicole never treated me differently. From the time we were in middle school, Nicole has always been like, that's my girl, right? So one day, Nicole and I are having a conversation, and, you know, it's one of these times where somebody got killed, and I was, you know, on my social justice platform, and I made Nicole understand, I don't remember specifically the conversation, but some kind of way I made Nicole understand that colorblind racism is racism. Nicole took that mantle, she took that argument, and she allowed it to infect her heart. And now, Nicole is straight up shutting people down left, right, and center. Like, no, what you're saying makes absolutely no sense. She's questioning these police videos. She's questioning these policies. She's questioning these police officers. And at the same time is saying, we can still support the police, which we can, and support the Black Lives Matter movement, which we can. She's thrown up the hashtag Black Lives Matter. I'm like, wow, Nicole, oh my God. Because Nicole allowed that one thing to infect her heart and is now open to literally everything else. Like, how can you continue to believe that this is not going to be something that is going to continue on? If Nicole can do it, anybody can do it. But it took Nicole getting herself in a position of openness, in a position of, you know what, let me be willing to hear this thing. Okay, yeah, that's true. And then from that first thing, it takes literally that first seed, and then it grows like a vine, like a weed, really. And it eventually everything else just starts to fall away, and you don't have a choice but to see it. She had to make herself uncomfortable. She had to recognize, oh my God, I'm complicit in this. And from there, face that thing, arrest it, interrogate it, and then say, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. And further, not only am I not doing this anymore, I have to speak about it. I have to tell people where I was wrong. And then from there, God forbid I should be quiet. I can't be quiet about it anymore. It's not okay for me to continue to be quiet about this. I have to speak. It happens just like that. But the reality is, like, she endured it, and it will happen with everybody, right? You endure it because you know that in the end it will benefit you. So even if you feel like, you know, this is really uncomfortable. Oh my God, this makes me really uncomfortable. Oh my God, I practice racism. Oh my God. You endure it, you go through it, and you do it from start to finish until you get to the finish line, because you know at the end there are people that you love. There are people that you talk to. There are people that you get with that are worth that uncomfortability. They're worth that uncomfortability. So the information acquisition part of it, you have to listen to us. Like, you have to listen to what if you're at the stage where you still feel like you don't practice racism, have a conversation with somebody and be like, yo, put yourself like on the post and be like, have I ever like be honest with me. Get yourself in the position to be able to accept that information. And try really hard not to be defensive about it. If you're past that point and you see that, yes, at one point in my life I was complicit with racism and now I'm ready to fight it, listen and align yourself with those around you, or even those on a national, on a city, on a state, on a whatever level. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to what it is that they're saying that they need and what they're saying that they want. Listen to what we are putting out there. Listen to the messaging that we're putting out there for what we actually need. And then from there, align yourself accordingly. Line up with that particular message, because that is the message that's going to get you home. You see what I'm saying? Like, I want you all to be a part of this fight. We need our allies. We need them. Plain and simple. There are things that we as the Black community can do that will make a huge impact. And trust me when I tell you, we are behind the scenes right now doing those things. Trust me when I tell you, we are organizing. It's happening. I'm not saying we're going to start bombing churches. I'm not saying that we're going to completely and totally dismantle Wall Street. What I am saying is we will have our impact felt. And this country will learn exactly what it means to alienate the Black people, because this generation, we're different. We are not our grandparents. Hashtag, we are not our grandparents. So I want you to recognize that all these things are happening. But as the allies, what we need you to do is the information acquisition part. We need for you to get that messaging out there. We need for you to start thinking about and talking to your counterparts, to your race of people, and let them know and show them how they're complicit in racism the same way that you were. Use your power of sympathy to get them where they need to go. And then from there, turn everybody to attention to us, and then listen to what we have to say. Listen to what we're doing and listen to where we are. Because from there, that's how we're going to get this thing done. That's what we need from you. Okay? So, it's uncomfortable. It's necessary. And it can be done. What we need from you is just to listen. Right now, just listen. So get that information in you. Okay? And if you have questions, by all means, call me. I like our chats. Talk to you soon.